Action! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the best podcast ever, Not So Common NSC, with the family ties again, with Big Poop, with AJ, aka No Ray, nothing but kicks. What's up, fellas?
What's good?
What's up?
What's up, man? Hey, good to be good. We had a good one yesterday. We got another good one today. I got some good feedback. Pookie, you was preaching like everybody. People like what you said about, when you were commenting on the autism. So yeah, you had some good stuff. And Trinette, she was good too. Very knowledgeable. Rhonda was good.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good show.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
Until I got messed up.
Let's get back into it. So you got me. Oh yeah, the signal. No, I don't know what's going on with the signals.
I have no clue.
Like it's yeah. And then even on the show, you can always tell us that we doing a Chinese movie talk.
Exactly. Or it's like
So
doing real slow. Like you moving your head, you like
yeah. And then hurry up and just say whatever.
Yeah.
But y'all good though?
Yeah, perfect, man. Perfect.
And I'll tell you why though, because I've been researching these dyes and these food stuff. That stuff is scary. Have y'all been paying attention to like the red 40 and the blue 4 and the green 3? Like they all these different dyes that be in food now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying now, but they've been in food.
Right. It's in everything.
It is.
Yes, and Robert Kennedy Jr. is trying to getting it banned, which I'm like, God,
right. Why do you have to fight for something like that? Why do you have to fight to get the poison that's not even necessary? Out of our food?
Yeah,
it don't make no sense.
Yeah,
dude. The first thing I did, I'm drinking.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying I'm drinking this sour sop tea, and the first thing I did was look on the back.
That's what I do now. Everything.
What was in it? And it said no bleach, no dyes, nothing. So I was like, let's go. But I have to do that now. AJ?
It's countries don't have all that different type of stuff. It's banned from a lot of countries. So why we ain't banned this stuff? We knew about this stuff for years. Why people just now trying to pretend like they don't know about this stuff? We known about this red dye stuff and all these dyes was bad for us and all that stuff. Why? What took y'all so long to say something? We been knew about it.
Think about the cereal we ate. The different remember the Fruit Loops, the different the cereal.
Pebbles,
Doritos, M&Ms,
all
that stuff. Yeah.
We eating it faithfully like 3-4
all that stuff. We've been eating that stuff for years.
Jolly Ranchers. You know what I'm saying? Some Jolly
Now, everything everybody describing, you think that might contribute to the increased rate of like autism, ADHD, all types of mental disorders that we really didn't see too much of when we were growing up?
Yeah,
it's definitely a lot more than what we used to seeing growing up. So I do.
Yeah, that video Mookie sent us earlier. They said that they started that like around the 90s of really, putting that in the food. And then guess what? This generation was coming up, kind of getting that what we really was just starting. They really had from
exactly.
Like so, that could contribute to that high increase of all those, illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not just mental, colon cancer, stomach cancers, and all that stuff, and diabetes, and high blood pressure. It'll trick. Like look at this. So everybody, we got 2 people here that got kids, right?
Yep.
You love your kids.
Yeah.
Everybody love their kids, right? But a lot of times when we were growing up, when we crying or something like that, when babies cry, we give them like a cookie or something to shut them up, a snack. And that's doing more harm because all of these different things. Or when they want some candy, if you're good, I get you some candy.
Yeah,
and that's and little do we know that's doing more harm.
I know. I was about to say that we was literally poisoning them, without even really realizing.
Not even Can I make a comment on that? Like what kind of comes to me is like you notice how like every other country they have tradition, they have some type of connection to where they from. we here in the U.S., we're just like this melting pot of everything. So we're like this, just a testing ground, this corporation that they just test on and kind of just give us things and just be like, like we're almost in a lab and everything else around us. And they try to make this place look like the place to be. And, oh, look how glamorous it is, the celebrity life. But this is only a testing ground. They are like literally playing us in our eyes, like right in our faces.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And then this whole thing, like putting the dyes into the food and all that stuff, it's all about money. Like all this, like cancer and all that stuff is happening. They did it on purpose. For that, all day.
They create the problem and create the solution.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's that corporation.
Even when you go to, so they're making money off both, and it's like even when you go to the grocery stores, you got to watch the what is the barcode, because those numbers mean something. It can mean
like they talking about like if it had like a 9 or a 0 at the end or the beginning,
like 4 or something like that.
Or and then that shows you like on the apples, like if it has wax on the apple, or if it does, kind of like, man, they get deep with it. Like that's what it said. Like in the Bible, it said, "My people will perish from the lack of knowledge."
Yeah.
Oh, like literally, you have to pay attention to all that stuff.
You have to. You have to
educate yourself. We just live. They keep us in this loop of working 9 to 5. So you get off of work, you're going to sleep to do it all over. You don't have time to think and pay attention to this stuff and educate yourself on these things. They try to keep you so busy, and then all of a sudden you be like, dang, I'm 75 and you on your way out now, 80 years old. Like we don't live long at all anymore. Like when you hear somebody like that's in their 80s, you be like, oh man, they better count their days. But in my, what I believe is you at least supposed to, like everybody's at least supposed to hit 100. You know what I mean? But now you like 70 and you like, okay, well,
it's a blessing. I even made it that far,
Exactly. Right, exactly.
Yeah. Because these days, I mean, like with the knowledge we have right now, we supposed to be still looking young in our 60s and 70s,
Exactly. Exactly.
But we're, like you said, all this thing is geared up, like so the dyes in the food, the different the fake stuff it's literally they're putting oil in our food.
Like car oil. They put like car motor oil.
They put in lipstick.
They didn't answer.
Yeah. They can put all that stuff in different things, and then we have to go to, like you said, go get up early. Like I get up early and go to work. You know what I'm saying? Every freaking day, a shift job. That's unhealthy.
Exactly.
It's very unhealthy.
Pardon me.
And another thing, like I stopped using.
That was a cough.
I stopped.
Oh, that was a cough.
Yeah, I coughed.
Toothpaste too.
I'm gonna put
like,
a mask on.
That I stopped kind of. That's nasty. But have you heard about that as well? Like that kind of goes along with that too, with like the red 40 and all that, like fluoride. Man, that messes a lot of stuff up, like with your the whole pineal gland and everything. It calcifies the pineal gland, and man, it's a lot of stuff, and it does not have a need to be in there really. They say that it slows down cavities and stuff like that, but it's so much natural things that prevents that as well.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like, I mean, they're talking about banning all the dyes, like ban a lot of stuff that they put in our soap, our deodorant, our toothpaste.
Have you guys been out? You've been out the country before. Mookie, you ever been out the country before? Like I've been to like London and Paris, and if you look at their stuff, they do not have all that. Like you look at like a bag of Doritos, it's not even like crazy like ours. Like ours have a long list of random stuff that you can't even pronounce.
Yeah.
But like when you go to their stores, it's like, a few little things, but you know what those things are. It's a complete difference. Like they playing us, and we're just allowing that to happen. And I was talking, I know I'm over here talking too much now, but I know like
that's the point.
I talked to somebody about this. I talked to somebody about this a few days ago, and I asked him like, if you know that someone on a personal level is trying to poison you, you would flip out. You wouldn't take what they're giving you. You would whoop that ass at the end of the day. But on a larger scale, we just be like, well, we know it's poison in it, but nobody's going to do nothing. You would think that we would collectively come together and really attack, like, yo, y'all trying to kill us purposely. Like y'all feeding
it feels like you're better off just growing your own stuff. That's what it feels like. Get your own seeds or whatever, and just do your own stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
But you got a good point, and we like saying that we why don't we come together and change all this? But this stuff keeps us pacified. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we just go with the motion. We just go with the flow, and nobody thinks outside of that zombie world we live in. That B world we live in, like you just walk like zombies. You know, remember them zombie shows? They just walk around in a circle, just meandering around, and you know, and it's just that's what we do. But you, like you said, they have people out there that hunt, grow their own food in their own garden. You know, their gardens, which is the way.
I don't know. Right, and I don't know if you notice like urban areas, like that's where you see a lot of. You know, these chain restaurants like McDonald's, Taco Bell, Burger King, you know, they're on every block to keep these people, to keep that mind of that zombie mentality. Like, you ever remember that movie, what is that movie called where he put the glasses on and he could see the sign that says obey and he takes
Yes, what is that?
Yeah.
Yo, that is so true. That is absolutely true on so many levels. Like you say, you look at the back of those cereal boxes, and it has all these things, but you just see the cartoon character and all these colors, and they have it on the level of the eye level of children. Like they purposely put it on like lower shelves of Skittles in line where the kids can just see these colors and just, you know, be like, I want that because it draws them in. But those dull colors and stuff, they don't care. They don't notice those, but they see the vibrant colors, the reds, the greens, the blues. And you know they play on that. Exactly.
Yeah, and also going back to you say the eye level in the grocery store. Also, when the commercials come on for these things too, if they know when the kids are home, so these commercials come on for these different cereals and candy and gum and stuff like that, all the stuff with this bad stuff, and then around the time when school get out or before they go to school. You know, it's always around those times where they're advertising and stuff.
Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, all that. They
exactly.
You know, you just don't notice it, but it's an agenda. It's like strategic. Like they know how to do it in pinpoint because they studied us. They know us because we're in this test lab. We're in this corporation of like cattle. You know what I mean? Like when they stamp their little ear and they have like that tracker, like. Even like when they do like they know everything about us. Like they know what we're gonna be doing on December 25th. They know what we're doing on Thanksgiving. They know what we're doing on October 31st. Like they have it so strategically planned. And why is like what's the whole history behind like the Halloween candy and all that? Why are they trying to push that so bad on us? So we have a whole bag of candy trying to eat it that night. And like you said, all these chemicals are in this candy, these Jolly Ranchers and Twizzlers, and you know, but we don't ever pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's like you said, and we just keep. You ever know? You know who's over like the World Health Organization and who's it's no doctor, it's like Bill Gates.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Just some random dude that's controlling the
like FDA. Bill Gates. It's people who with money and not medical background.
Yeah.
Money talk, man. Money rule the world. Absolutely. That's why I said it's
and what does he do?
They don't do that in those other countries. This corporation right here.
See, but even Bill Gates is a front man. There's people that's in charge of things that you will never see.
I have to
what he said?
Restart my camera. I'll be right back, okay?
Yep.
No, I was saying that, you know, a lot. I mean, they can be frontmen that we think are in charge, but it's a lot of entities behind these people that are really in charge. Mm-hmm. But you know, they're gonna put somebody in the forefront, you know, for them to be labeled as in charge or whatever. But I think it's deeper than that. And on top of that, I think it's other levels of poison too. It's more than just what you eat. I mean, because you can consume things in other ways too. What you listen to, what you watch, you know, Absolutely. It all has an effect on you. Because even your body can produce its own poison. You know, mm-hmm. and that's called what's it called? Cortisol from like depression and stuff like that, like a stress hormone. You poisoning your body with that, so that can come from feeling a certain way. That can come from what you're hearing. That can come from what you're seeing. That's why, in a lot of ways, for myself, it's challenging to watch, you know, the news, because, you know, certain things on the news, or most of the time, the news as you will see is going to be bad news. So it's going to be things that attach with you from even seeing it and hearing it, and then now it's stuck with you, and who knows how it affects your body. It affects people in different ways, but you know, it's on all levels. And like Pook was saying, it's like a test. It's like a test, because you will go to other countries and a lot of this stuff you wouldn't see. And here it's like all over, like normal.
Yeah.
That's why it's like, it'll seem weird to us, because we'll go to these places and be like, dang, they ain't doing this or they ain't doing that. But, you know, that's the whole point. That's kind of like what when we used to see, like, we used to see pictures of Africa and videos of Africa, and we thinking Africa was just poor, tore up, and all this and that. Mm-hmm. And it's so far from the truth. You go there, it's like, it don't look like the way I've always been seeing it on TV where I'm from. So that goes to show how they poison the minds on different levels, and having the food that you eat kind of adds to that. And then, you know, your kids and you know, everybody growing up and all that, they get affected by that too. So,
absolutely.
I mean, I know when I get on my, like right now, I'm starting to like, cause I need to lose weight and be healthier myself, right? So now I'm on fasting. I'm fasting. I try to eat, you know, like greens and stuff like that. And I feel, it makes me feel so much better. It's so much crazier once you just discipline yourself and do the right things.
Yeah.
How much better you feel. And it's, I even eat less meat now, pause. And you know about that too. And I want to get into, you actually,
I don't know about that.
Because about that.
Hey, so tell your story how you put down the meat, pause.
It's been about 2.5, almost 3 years now that I've been a vegetarian. Okay. Yeah, that I became a vegetarian. I woke up one day, because I've heard so many stories about how hard it is to digest like beef, and then I didn't really even mess with pork. My mom cut me off pork years ago, and then you know, I noticed once I stopped eating beef, I was like, man, you know, I feel a lot better and all that stuff just from eating beef alone. So then, you know, I looked at my wife, because I wanted to give it a try, and I also wanted to lose weight and everything and stay healthy. I was like, you know what? The day after Christmas, December 26th, I don't want to eat any type of meat, no homo, anything dealing with that. Like, I would rather be a vegetarian. Like, I'll eat cheese.
I say Paul.
Like, the only thing I'll eat is like cheese and a little bit of eggs. But my journey in becoming a vegetarian was a good journey. I went from 310 pounds, and I dropped all the way down to like 100 and between 190 to 200 pounds. And I was in the perfect shape of my life, you know, just from making that big change from what I was eating. You know, I wasn't eating like any of that type of stuff like meat, and I stopped eating certain snacks. Like I started eating like Triscuits or stuff like that, you know, trying to stay away from anything that actually I was staying away from stuff with the red dye stuff in it too, you know. And doing all that, it also helped my blood pressure.
If I can where are you getting majority of your protein from?
I get majority of my protein from like peanuts, peanut butter. I eat mushrooms. That's part of protein. Not so much like tofu or anything like that. I'm not really a big tofu eating fan, but that's majority where I do my protein. I'm also still, even though I've been doing this for about 2.5, almost 3 years, I still, I'm still researching like different proteins I can eat and stuff like that. I know a lot of.
I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say a lot of. I was about to say a lot of vegetarians, they also eat plant-based. Plant-based really isn't good for you,
Yeah, I heard that before, yeah.
It has a lot of like high sodium and everything in that stuff, which I'm not gonna lie, I was eating plant-based thinking I was doing the right thing. And when I did my research, and I started noticing that back when my blood pressure would get high, I get real sweaty and I just feel real hot and my heart starts feeling, going boom, 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 boom. And I noticed it start happening again. I was like, man, what's going on? So I went to the VA, got checked out, back to high blood pressure all over again. And I'm like, why? So it just so happened my doctor is a vegetarian, and he informed me, he was like, hey, you eat plant-based food? I was like, yeah. And he was like, that's why your blood pressure went back up. It has a lot of sodium and stuff like that in it. Now, what you was going to say, Pope?
I was going to ask, like, as a human being, do you believe we are not supposed to eat meat? Or do you think it's on an individual basis?
I can't really say you're not supposed to eat meat. You know what I mean? Because that's a big old controversy right there. Because certain meats actually,
is it all about the protein?
Yeah, the protein. Like certain meats actually helps you out better than some of the plants. On your protein part.
Yeah.
Like for example, like baked chicken and stuff like that is really good for you. But
right.
I'm not gonna.
Man.
Right, and it's crazy because like, go ahead, Mookie. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, we got a comment. So I'm preaching to the choir. We got a good comment.
Okay.
Got people who say she's
Good word, Jennifer. What's going on?
Salute. Shout out. Big shout out.
Yeah, that's Jennifer. Hey, #1 fan.
Yeah.
Word.
But what I was gonna say, what personally I was gonna say is like, energy with the meat, the way that it's being handled, especially here in the US, like, energy is being held in this meat, like these cows, like the fear and like the treatment in which they go through is transferred to us through the meat. You know what I mean? Like, I know people don't, they probably think that's like some old fictional stuff, but it's a true thing. Like, it's studies on this, like when a cow or any animal that is being slaughtered, that fear releases chemicals in that meat from them, because they want to live like we do at the end of the day. Like they hear like we are and they're trying to live. And then you ever seen like how they do them cows? Like they hang them upside down and they just go down the line, splitting their throat, just splitting their throat and just letting them bleed out. You know what I mean? They just sitting there just shaking, like, you know what I mean? And that's all that's being released, like that fear in them. Like, and people don't realize what those animals are going through. Those chickens heads being chopped off.
Yeah.
And, we just be like, oh, that's something to fry real quick. Throw that in that grease. And that really plays a part on what we bring in. That's why you be like, you would eat something and then you be like, yo, why is this girl so moody all the time? Or why are you so angry? And you just be like, why am I in this bad mood? Because you've been eating that stuff with that energy that you just transferred from that cow or that pig or that chicken or goat, whatever you eat. People don't realize that really transfers to you. You take on that energy, you know what I mean? And they know this. I'm telling you, like, everything we do. Yeah, everything we do is like literally.
Like, besides.
Yeah, go ahead.
Besides the fact about that, the energy and everything, I've seen videos of them putting like steroids inside chickens to make them look bigger and all the different type of stuff. You know, that's extremely unhealthy for us to be eating on. And you thinking like, because I seen it, you know, I ain't gonna lie, back when I was eating meat, no homo. If I seen a big old piece of chicken, I'm going for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really, in all reality, all that stuff is bad for you because how much stuff they put into that stuff. You know, and becoming a vegetarian, I feel a lot better. You know, I have a lot of energy, all that different type of stuff.
Right.
So, you know, I was real happy about the move I made, and still going strong, 2.5 years. But I'm not gonna lie to you, some of that food still
you be licking, man.
You know, it gets to me.
Okay, cuz. One question: have you
steaks on the grill, man?
Cuz, have you ever considered going vegan? Because there's a difference, right?
No.
Vegan is like vegan is no animal involvement at all, right?
No eggs, no cheese, nothing.
None of that stuff.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that, you know. That's your prerogative. If you want to become a vegan and don't eat none of that stuff, that's your prerogative. But that's not me. I like cheese, and every once in a blue moon, I eat eggs. So I can't go that far. You know what I mean? I'm already going far enough that I can't eat. I'm halfway there. I'm on the fence like that. You know what I'm saying? But it was an excellent journey, still is, you know, and I'm hoping I keep on going with it. I'm afraid, like, if I even try a piece of chicken or something like that, I might get sick off of it.
Yeah, you know what though? Now that I think about it, what Mook was saying made a lot of sense, because fasting actually gives your body an opportunity to break down everything. So it's almost like the less you eat, your body heals itself. So you almost have to. You eat to get the nourishment, to get the energy, but you have to let your body break it down and start to heal. Because I think, you know, if you think about it, you know, I always thought I say the last few years that 3 meals a day is overrated. Because if you really look at how often the body digests itself, if you're eating 3 meals a day, your body will never have the chance to fully digest, which, you know, causes you to gain weight, causes you, you know what I mean, which some people have high metabolism, so they don't have to worry about that. But as you get older and your metabolism you know, and you're like, oh, breakfast, I gotta have breakfast, I gotta have lunch and dinner. And then before you know it, you're doing this for years and years and years. All this stuff is piling up because your body has never really had a chance to heal itself. So it's almost like I think it's necessary to fast or to have a fasting period and to give your body an opportunity to cleanse itself because of everything we're consuming, because most of it is not good for you.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's a matter of staying clean the best way you can through fasting and giving your body an opportunity to heal itself, because, you know.
And also
kind of what I thought about it.
And drinking like more water, because you know all these drinks have like that high fructose corn syrup, and you know something that's more natural that your body can break.
No, you have to.
Oh, no.
She wrote
pescatarian. That's just seafood, right? Pescatarian.
I think so. It's just seafood, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you can only eat like fish and stuff like that, I think.
Yeah. I believe Q is a pescatarian. He eats nothing but fish. I don't know if he still is.
Who is
Q?
Who is Q?
Cousin Q.
Our cousin
Quentin.
Yeah.
Shout out to Q.
Yeah, he's
okay.
Yeah, shout out to Q.
But I heard many things like eating too much fish is you know, like the mercury in it or something like that.
Bad.
I think too much of anything is bad, to be honest, but I would say again, it comes to moderation. It comes to how often you fast, how often you give your body opportunity to cleanse itself. Because I think your body is probably stronger than any medicine on earth.
That's what I said.
You have to give it the nutrients and necessary things for it to perform at its highest level. Because, you know, a lot of that stuff you're taking is actually taken away from how strong your body could heal itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's all and plus like says the daughter is pescatarian. It's like, if this fish, like if these fish are being raised on a, I don't know what the correct term is. Fish farm raised.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Wild
what are they
caught. Yeah.
So bioengineered fish,
that
bioengineered, yeah, like that that they kind of put together like tilapia. Tilapia is fake.
Yes. Tilapia is horrible for
you. Fake fish. Like, do not eat that stuff. Like that. That's not nothing. No.
They eat trash, garbage. They're
bottom feeders or whatever.
Yeah, they bottom
feeders. Yeah, and they grew. Most of them grew or created in the lab. So
lab, that's
you can't really eat nothing that's created in the lab.
I've seen videos of that.
Mm-hmm.
That shit
you ever
crazy.
seen it's a show called Dirty Jobs, and he was over in some country. I can't believe it. I can't remember what it was, but they put the tilapia fish to clean their I guess it's like the sewer that's over there. And then they turn around and catch some of the tilapia and sell it in the market. That is disgusting. Yeah. That is nasty as hell.
Whoa.
Yeah, that is nasty.
Yeah, that's what they do. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's why I would never. That video right there really. I seen that video back when I was eating meat no homo.
You say pause, man.
I mean pause. I apologize about that. What I was about to say, bro. You made me lose my train of thought, bro. But watching that video back when I was eating meat, you know what I mean? It kind of helped me out staying away from like tilapia and all that stuff. Because I ain't gonna lie, I ate it once before, and it's horrible.
Yeah,
it's horrible for you. And it doesn't even taste.
No, it doesn't. So. Unless you season it really well, fried on both sides, really crispy. Some hot sauce, and a little ketchup, you might be all right. But other than that, no, I don't know. But let me say,
what about some catfish?
Catfish, yeah.
Some catfish.
But let me ask you this: like, why is certain animals okay to eat and others aren't? Who made that rule?
That's some religious stuff.
I know, like certain animals are off limits, but you can eat these animals. They can be,
You talking about like when certain like that? I forgot what country it is. They don't eat cows.
India.
Like that. Yeah, India. They don't eat cows and all that stuff, but it's okay to eat like all the other animals
and like you eat them, but them that's off limits.
But it's also, I think a lot of it stems from religion, but a lot of it just stems on what side of the world you live on. Because, I mean, we eat cows, pigs, whatever. That's deer meat, whatever. But that's over in another country somewhere. But we're going to look like that. Like, I don't want camel meat, but it's just meat. Kangaroo meat.
Right.
Kangaroo meat? I never had that before.
I've heard of that. They was talking about kangaroo meat being mixed in the McDonald's burger.
I thought it was Burger King, but
It might be all those fast food restaurant chains. To be honest,
horse meat.
Yeah, I heard of. Because you think about it. I don't even eat fast food. But you think about how many McDonald's franchises are in the world?
Billions.
Are you telling me it's that many cows? Because they don't ever run out of meat. No,
that's the reason why
they don't ever run out.
That's the reason why when that commercial came out, bro, and they said now serving real meat. I jumped back. I was like, what in the world was y'all saying?
I'm telling you. You never hear of these restaurants running out. You never hear that. I'm thinking there's an unlimited supply of this.
But
where are they getting this?
But you do know what there is an unlimited supply of.
Humans?
What?
I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, people.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I knew you were gonna say that.
Some people burgers, some cheese on that.
People,
yeah, they don't never run out. You will never hear of a restaurant running out of any of that stuff.
Right, because they
like. Could you imagine going to McDonald's? Oh, we're out of hamburgers. That'd be crazy, right?
Yeah. But they've always. What's crazy?
Huh? You said. how many McDonald's chains there. You got to add in the Wendy's, the Burger King, the all these other ones on top of McDonald's. You don't have that many cows on this planet. That's why I said, like, where are all these? You know, you think your loved ones is being buried.
Okay. They really get served up.
Hey, and leave a McDonald's burger out for a week, and that mug gonna look the same as it did when you first had it.
Exactly. I know everybody's seen that video when they put that blowtorch towards that McDonald's sandwich.
That shit gonna look the same, or any burger probably gonna look the same from these fat. They supposed to mold and break down.
Yeah, that's not. Oh, I know you seen like the Wendy's nuggets. I used to love the Wendy's nuggets. It was just like a
spicy chicken nuggets.
And they put and just bread the goop. Like,
I seen that video.
Like, yo, we have been lied to since day one, yo. And
for
these
years,
people are feeding their kids these Happy Meals and come with a little toy and cookies and make it look like we're just feeding your children. You know, keeping them healthy, man. They are killing your kids in your face, helping you. They're giving you the gun and making you pull the trigger, like.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. Like, they make it give them the poison.
But you again, like Mookie said, you are so busy, you're not able to research this stuff. They keeping you busy, like this whole rat race. Oh, you gotta have the American dream, so you're fixated on this dream that you're trying to keep for your family, not realizing you're slowly killing them.
Well, even think of the term. Think of the term fast food. Now, since when does food that's made fast good for you? Think about it. Most of the time, if you're at home cooking, you don't make no burger in a few minutes, but you can go to these restaurants and get a whole meal in less than 2 minutes. That means it was quickly processed and just thrown at you.
I worked at McDonald's, and when I was a teenager, and we just had these frozen patties in the back.
You just
grab them, throw them on the thing, this little thing.
Yeah, I worked there too when I was a teenager in Houston.
Like, bro, I never will eat that stuff again.
I would never.
So both of y'all, when y'all worked there right away, y'all were like, "We're never. I'm not eating this stuff again." Once y'all stop working,
once you see the process,
I only lasted at that McDonald's for like a week, bro. I couldn't even take that junk no more, bro. Besides, like, all that stuff, but I'll never touch that food, bro.
Still, like, even like we're talking about fast food. But I know you know about the secrets of like the grocery store, how they're taking blood from other, like their old meat that's dried and brown. They take blood from the other one and just mix it back in and resell it again. Wow, like anywhere you go, you can't even cook your own food at home. You literally have to go raise your own cows and tear them up.
Yeah,
pretty much. That's like literally the only way. But you have to like literally just kind of like stop eating meat like altogether. Like it's probably best to be real.
But also in the veggies too, and the fruit too, because like I said, like we talked about earlier. Now you got to look on the barcode and see what's real and what's not when it comes to the fruit. But because these dyes are in the fruit.
Where in school? Where in school did you learn this? You don't.
Nowhere.
You don't. They don't teach you the important stuff. They just teach you to just live the system that you're put in. That's it. Just surviving the system. But to actually live through it, they're not teaching you that. They don't want you to live. They want you to keep going through the loop of this reincarnation wheel without understanding what you're doing and gaining that knowledge. They just want you to keep going through this wheel, like this corporation that we're going through. Like that's what I said. Like other countries they may look like they're behind, but they actually are treating their people a lot better than they're treating us.
Just like the video that Mookie sent us. As you seen in the video, he said other countries other kids live longer. I mean, other people in different countries live longer than us in America.
Yeah.
But and like you said too, Pook, it's got us in this zombie world. Because when you eat good, when you on your diet real good, you think better. Your brain works. You're more go after things more. You know what I'm saying? like when I fast and when I eat just vegetables, like it's like my drive is stronger. It's not just you know, but a lot of guys like even at work sometimes, like I go to work early every day and work these hours, and then sometimes I used to be like I haven't eaten it since I left my other job, but I used to go to Burger King like every day.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just because it was quick.
That just makes you get sluggish.
Yeah.
Sluggish. You know what I'm saying? Then I started when I started just like fasting throughout the day, when I got through the points to where I'd just be hungry all the time, it was like, okay, now my energy is still here to work on the podcast after work. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't want to
but
I wouldn't even or go to the gym, go to the track after work.
But you see the connection though, right? You see that connection is like we have to keep these people asleep. We can't have their minds developing what's actually going on. We have to keep them in that zombie state of mind for control. So they give you that stuff to kind of keep you in that loop of, I gotta keep working. I gotta do this without actually stepping back, taking time out to realize, hold on, let me put myself first, see what I'm putting in my body. You know what I mean? And what is this stuff doing to my body? But nobody's doing that. We're just like, well, I gotta get something quick. Let me get this quick donut. Let me eat this Subway. Let me eat this, all these nitrates and all this stuff that you're consuming. And then before you know it, you at the doctors and they're telling you, oh, you have cancer. And you be like, what happened to this? I thought, That's how they do it.
Now think about this when it comes to food, right? Before the modern era, before refrigerators, before things, how often do you think people ate? People probably went weeks without eating. And then when they got something, they celebrated.
Yeah.
But that goes to show how long your body can actually go without eating. But I think in our modern day era, hunger is one thing. I think hunger is actually an addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like an addict. Like you done had what you had. You done had your, your crack or whatever drug you're taking, and then now it's gone, and now you're hungry for it again. Now you get so used to eating it all the time or doing it all the time. Now it's an addiction. Now you got to get the next one. You got to get the next heat, or your body's telling you, hey, let's eat again. Let's eat some more, because of it's your body being in an addictive state. So now now it's like, and then now you're growing up. Oh, we got to eat 3 meals a day, breakfast and multi-course meals a day, and all this and that. And then now it's just programmed to us. Now it's a regular thing.
They don't teach you about fasting in school. They don't teach you about fasting in school. They just told you, oh, you got to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. And that's
well, I don't know if y'all the same way, but the only way I learned about fasting was through religion, through church. Fast and pray. That's the only reason why I even learned about fasting. But fasting, actually, what you're saying is actually good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I listened to Nuri Muhammad talk about him. I don't know if you ever listen to him talk, but he was talking about the remember the Chick-fil-A sandwich versus the Popeye sandwich deal that went on a couple years ago?
Yeah.
People going crazy. He had talked about the different chemicals that they put in these chicken sandwiches to make it taste like chicken. Or taste like, they put all these different I think it was like 50-something chemicals that they put in these sandwiches just for the taste, for you to be addicted to it, for you to, crave it.
Yeah.
And you see, people were going crazy over that stuff.
Yeah. You seen people lined up for hours to get a chicken sandwich.
People lost their
fighting over chicken sandwich.
They killed people for that chicken sandwich.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Weren't they selling it online
they
too?
Were selling them on the corners.
They were?
People was trying to hustle some chicken sandwiches. But the question is, were they really chicken? Them chicken don't run out either. Exactly. Apparently, them chicken spots, they don't run out of chicken. Where's the chicken come from?
Bruh, we can say, I mean, I can't safely say, but I will believe that anything that comes from any fast food, anything is not real, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. It's genetically modified.
It's genetically modified.
And they have methods that can make food taste like a certain thing.
Yeah.
And you'll never know the difference.
Brain, right. They make your brain believe that, oh, this is bacon, even though no. Or some type of flavorings is great. But did you ever like wonder like you know how like I said like a few videos back of like every like Thanksgiving, you know, every black family, black household, you know what's gonna be on their menu.
Yeah.
Like every house you go to, they're gonna have the collard greens, the everything, the mac and cheese, like they're always the same thing. But do you know where all that came from? Like it's always that same tradition of like that slavery mindset. Like those slaves got like those the scraps from like the slave masters, and they put all that stuff together, and we continue these same traditions. Instead of trying to break those, we still continue those year after year after year, and they know this. They love it. They know that every year what's going to be run out around what time of the year. Oh, around November, these items will be sold out. Why? How are we there?
Hell yeah.
And everybody's so okay with that. Like, I don't know, man.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And like I always say, soul food. People love soul food, but it's take your soul food.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Why is that? Take your soul food. Why do you think that's okay to eat? Like, why are you craving that so much? Why is a certain group of people craving this item? Oh, I need my mac and cheese and my cornbread and all this stuff. And then if we don't have it, like just imagine you went to a black family house, right? And they didn't have none of that stuff. You'd be like, what kind of house is this? Like you would be almost insulted because they don't have that menu you're accustomed to. Like I just find that to be weird. Like I feel I really find that to be strange, and everybody's just moving along with it. It's like that's not weird.
Not to cut you off, nothing like that. Have you heard like what's been going on lately with Robert Hinton Jr.'s case?
But
you heard anything about it? The Robert Hinton Jr.
Enlighten me.
I've heard a lot of stuff. I just don't know the name. What's the situation?
Okay. It's actually I actually had to write this stuff down. I ain't even gonna lie to you, but it's a major case. It's been going on for like a couple of days now. I think since last Friday. It took place in Ohio, but Robert Hinton Jr. apparently had ran over a Ohio deputy. Well, he's retired police officer, and for the reason why he ran the police officer over, the police officer was directing traffic. Robert Hinton Jr. ran him over. So, the reason why he did it was because I forgot how long ago it was. Robert Hinton Jr.'s son, that was 18 years old, was shot.
It was the day before.
Oh, it was the day before. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he put his son the day before, and then the next day he ran over the cop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the reason why he ran the police officer over. That's what me personally. That's what was in his mental state. But the young man was 18 years old. The police officer ended up shooting him. But when I was looking at the video, because the first officer, he came up. They parked their vehicles, how police officers do when they box somebody in. First officer came up, he ran around the side, said he's on the right, or he ran to the right or something like that, and he got a gun. So then that's when the second cop came up. He from what I seen two different videos. One video, the cop came up, he was going to the left, and the young man slipped and fell. The gun apparently that the young man had hit the ground. Both police officers claimed that they heard that, and he picked it up and then went between the garbage dumps, and that's where the police officer seen him and opened fire on him. Some people I seen was saying that he should have shot him in his leg, but if you ever fired a weapon while you're on the move, it's hard to aim at someone's leg. You know.
So you're saying that his son actually had a weapon, or was it perceived to be a weapon? It could have been like a cell phone or something, or was it just they just assumed it just because of the circumstance?
It was a weapon.
No, it was a gun. They showed it.
It was a gun.
Okay.
So you know, as I continue with the story, when he was on trial and everything, it was like 30 plus police officers that was there while he was in trial and all that stuff. It looked like, I ain't gonna lie to you, it looked like salt with a hint of pepper going all through it. You know, it was, you know, that's how deep it was. And at the end, he was eyeballing every last one of them, you know, with his head up, chest out, eyeballing them down, staring them down. They staring at him back while he's walking past. You know, I'm quite sure some officers was, you know, underneath their breath talking shit and all that junk to him. But, you know, some people, as I seen, was trying to, well, I don't take it as like black versus white or white versus black. I don't take it as that. You know what I mean? I think that man, pretty much his mental state was gone. You know, you just seen your son get shot by a police officer and you lost it. You know, what would you do? You know, either one of y'all, because I'm not gonna lie, you can say as much as you want to. Nah, I wouldn't have did that. As soon as you know, I wouldn't have never did anything. But you don't know what you're gonna do at that moment if something like that was to happen to your child. You know, it doesn't matter if you.
I was just saying it's becoming more common because that's like the third or fourth situation where someone retaliated to law enforcement due to them, you know, harming their children, you know, fatally, you know, harming children. And people are getting tired of this narrative of cops can do whatever they want. People are like, okay, y'all gonna do that? We're gonna let you. You're gonna figure it out. And I really applaud that. Like I don't condone any violence or any sort like that, but I think people should start standing up. Then these cops gonna really, you know, have to really think like, oh, if I do something, I need to think twice before I just go ahead for my gun. You have tasers. You have all types of other things that you can disarm somebody with. You don't have to go straight to your gun. You are trained. Anybody can pull out a gun and just shoot somebody. What do we need you for then? I can just get my own gun and kill the person. You are there to control the situation. If you're just going to start killing people, there's no need for you. We can do that to each other. You are there to help, not harm. They're going straight to kill. Like, oh, I'm not trying to do nothing. Bow, you're gone. I'm good. Like what happened to our cousin, the whole, you know, that situation. Like that was huge. She was there praying in the kitchen, and you still shot her. You're getting you about to get this. Like you're gonna learn. You have consequences for your actions. And you think that people will just go to sleep and you're going to sleep all good. Like, yeah, I just murdered somebody's son, but as long as my son's here, I'm good. I'll sleep good at night. No, people are going to retaliate now. Now you need to have that in the back of your mind. Like, I need to think about another option than going ahead and trying to take somebody's life. That's not your first option. Stop looking at your first option. You remember that girl? It was a few years back that walked into the wrong apartment and killed the black guy. She was on the wrong floor, but she walked in. She thought somebody broke into her apartment and she killed the guy. He was just in his. He was eating. I think he was eating a bowl.
I remember that.
You remember that? Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
A bowl of cereal in his living room. She walked in his house and then shot him, not realizing she was on the wrong floor.
Wow.
How about you?
Are you serious?
Wow. Yeah. Why are you going straight to your gun? You get what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying they think they're above the law now, where they can just do anything without any consequences. I'm a cop. I have a badge. I can do what I want.
But let me ask a question. Do you think? Okay, so the young man, he had a weapon in his. Well, apparently he had a weapon in his hand from what they were saying.
Now, was it legal?
And I don't know. Well, I have no clue.
AJ, hold on. You got it from the beginning though. You got to remember they were in a stolen car at first too.
Yeah,
so
they
that's
was
why
in the stolen
they were approached from the beginning. So everything about the situation from the beginning was bad.
Yeah. So technically, the boy was in the wrong.
Allegedly in the wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of the stolen vehicle. So the cops were in pursuit, and then he took off running and had a weapon on him.
Yeah, according to the cops.
I mean,
right. I'm not saying anything was right or wrong, but I think. Yeah.
But like, I wanted to ask, like, do you think it could have been a different way instead of shooting the young man?
It could be a different way.
Anytime there's a gun involved, they're going to shoot to kill. It ain't no. That's how they train.
Unless he pulled it out and aimed, even though like you don't.
I don't honestly, my opinion. I don't think he pulled it out in anger at all. It was like protection. You know what I mean? Because the young man apparently had a gun. So of course, what do you think you're gonna do if you was a police officer?
I mean, yeah,
you gonna pull yours out too?
Like that,
you
gotta do. If
you really ain't got time to think. It's kind of like at that point, it's either you or them.
Yeah, absolutely. At that point, you have every right, but unless he pulled that gun out, if he did not pull out that gun, I don't care what's said.
But the main thing is,
they're not gonna wait for you to point it.
Like I said in the past, like I said already, like if you're a parent, father, whatever, guardian, what would you do in that situation? What his dad?
But in that situation, you better raise your kids better. At the end of the day,
I would ask myself how did my child end up in this situation? Exactly. What did I do wrong? What did I do right? Because it takes a lot to get in that situation. It's like, if this kid was actually fearful of his father or what his father would say, I don't think he would be even involved in that, because it's like, my dad don't play that, and I ain't even gonna be involved in nothing like this. And it's like, it's like if for something like that to happen, it says a lot about you and how you raised your child. And it's like, why, what did I do to have my child even in this situation? Mm-hmm. And I'm not justifying anything. I'm just kind of on the outside looking in as a father. And it's like, what did you do wrong? Look in the mirror. What you do wrong? Why the hell is your kid out here doing this dumb shit? You know what I'm saying? Because it's obviously dumb.
Raise your kid, can they still turn them out a certain way?
What's up?
What'd you say, Mo?
No, I was saying, like, could be that loving father, teach your kid, but when they grow up, they get influenced by their friends and just go their own route anyway.
I was about to say that, like the environment, you know what I'm saying? As I looked at the pictures, he was on the football team and all that different type of stuff. It's about that environment that's getting these kids to be a part of, like the Kia Boys and all that different type of mess. It's about the environment. They bringing them in, and that's crazy. It's just up to you to try to steer them in a different direction, especially young men. Young men, you definitely got to steer them in the right direction. I got 2 boys. One is grown and the other one is on his way. But while they was growing up, I didn't want them going in that direction, like trying to be in the streets and all that stuff. I steered them away from that mess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do. You got to teach them to stay away from all that.
So what in what ways did you try steering them away?
So, no lie, I tried to influence them to get into school stuff, activities, all that different type of mess. So that way they can keep their mind focused on something else besides, I'm home. You know what I mean? I already did my homework. I'm about to go outside and then go off and go, do whatever. Yeah. So most of the time I try to keep them active. I tried to, be there with them as often as I could, trying to teach them how to grow up to not make dumb mistakes like I did,
right. We both know what we went through growing up. You remember TOS?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, we wanted to do the gang thing.
I remember.
That's what the girls like. You know, that's what the girls like. You see Beyonce and them made that song. I Need a Soldier. You know, they wanted a thug. So I'm like, I gotta be a thug. That's what the ladies like. So I mean, that's what the music does. Like bro said, what you feed into you, and you're allowing your kids to be grown up, because you don't want your kids to be teased. Like you want your kids to have that swag, that persona of of a strong black man, but you don't want them to be too far into it. But then you don't want them to be too far and be called things like Oreo and stuff like that. So you don't know how far you kind of want your kids to go. Like, so as a parent, that is so difficult. Like, you want your kids to have that background and knowledge of the hip hop life, but sometimes it goes too far. You know what I mean? They start doing and imitating what they see in these videos and want to have these robberies. Right. It's hard, man. It's hard. I can't.
Yeah, it is. You know what hurts the most, and I know a lot of fathers, black fathers that do it also. You have to teach them about the police. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I kind of hated teaching him about that. You know what I mean? We shouldn't have to teach our kids that type of stuff. But at the same time, I seen videos where some of the kids, they act crazy in front of the police officers, but that's another thing I kind of like taught my sons, don't talk reckless when it comes to the police officers.
I've never
all that different type
had a run-in with the police. I've always had, I wouldn't say all have been pleasant, but they all kept it to a respect of, I'm doing my job. They've never, and I always comply. Like, what is the point of like trying to fight and be tough? Like, you see all these videos, people think they're smarter than the police. I know my rights, and just if you were in the wrong, cool. You were speeding, you were doing whatever that you weren't supposed to do. Understand and take response. Stop trying to be all tough and I ain't letting this dude talk to me like this. It's not even about trying to be tough.
Yeah,
and that's what our people are trying to do. Like, it's a white cop trying to, just be like, cool, all right, cool, just follow, get home. That's your only goal. Make it home. That's it. But you over there trying to be tough and do all this and talk back like the law. You've been to law school and I know this and this, that. Nah, stop it. That's why you got 3 in your back. Like.
Yeah, I just wish this situation wasn't he wasn't tragic, already in like a stolen car or didn't have a gun on him and stuff like that. Just
man, blessings to both families, you know what I'm saying? Robert Hinton's family and
the cop that he ran over didn't have anything to do with that in the first place.
Right.
Exactly. It was a whole different police officer.
It was. It wasn't even him.
It was a different police officer. Yeah.
That's where I thought it was actually the cop, because the other people that I said that
a lot of people thought it was the actual cop that
that's wrong. No, I completely in the wrong. Completely.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
In the wrong. I don't side with that at all. But like those other incidents that I heard where like the cop killed a man's son, and then the man waited for the cop's daughter to go on prom, and then he followed her and shot her and killed her and said, now you know how I feel. Like stuff like that. Like, you got to do what you got to do. Like, you're hurting, and so, like that's out of my. But if you just going around just harming innocent people, I'm not with that. No, that's sloppy. That's sloppy work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But man, that was good. This was a good one, man. This was a good one. I enjoyed this conversation. This whole podcast. This was actually a real good podcast. They all are. But I appreciated this one, man.
We do.
Anything y'all want to say? Y'all want to hit out anything? Any announcements?
I like to say something.
What's up, man? You have another baby?
Hey.
Hell no. Oh no, I can't. I'm shooting blanks in the club. You know what I'm saying? I shoot all day. They ain't hitting nothing. Don't.
What's up? What you got?
Ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? People that want more kids and all that stuff, that's you. Like, I'm trying to, I don't want to, no more children. But anyway, I want to do a shout out to all the mothers, the mamas, the grandmamas, you know what I mean? Abuela, mommy, you know. Happy Mother's Day to all the queens. Happy Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's
Day. Happy Mother's Day, Ma. Love you.
Another shout out. And my sister had to make sure she had to make sure she reminded me, as also Nurses Week. So shout out to all the nurses. Y'all truly treasure and truly honored. You know, salute to y'all. Salute to the nurses, man. Nurse Week. Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
All right.
Did y'all get your mamas anything?
Huh?
Did you get your mamas anything?
Love.
Look, y'all got quiet.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, me. That's all she needs. It's me.
Yeah.
Nah, but hey, once again, thank you for kicking it with Not So Common NSC Family Ties Edition. This was another great one. Thanks for kicking it with us. Peace, fam.
Peace.
Peace.